With a general election in the UK later this week, today we aim to discover how Christian civic engagement can shape our nation's moral direction and why your vote matters.
I will stop and breathe in your presence. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Welcome back to the Selah Time to Pause podcast from Plexus Salvation Army, an online church in the UK. I'm Ian, and together through this podcast we aim to take some time out each week in the midst of our lives to pause, to catch our breath, draw near to God and refresh our spirits. But more importantly and more excitingly, welcome to a community of people committed to doing just that together. Once a month, we take time to consider what's going on in our world and to reflect a little on what that means to us as we seek to live out our Christian faith. Today, unsurprisingly, we're considering Christian engagement in politics. As the general election approaches, it's crucial to address the issue of voter apathy amongst Christians. When Christians neglect their civic duty to vote, they inadvertently allow the wicked to rule. As Proverbs 29 and verse 2 warns, "When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan." This suggests a direct correlation between Christian civic disengagement and the consequences outlined in that biblical proverb. It's rooted in the idea that the neglect of voting by Christians creates a vacuum in the political sphere, which is then filled by those who may not uphold godly values, thus leading to governance that causes undue suffering. This scripture highlights a fundamental truth. The moral and ethical fabric of governance is significantly influenced by who holds power. The act of voting is a means by which Christians can influence the direction of their society, promoting justice, compassion and integrity, values that are deeply rooted in biblical teaching. When Christians neglect this duty, they fail to exercise their influence in a way that could contribute to the thriving of righteousness within their community and nation. By abstaining from voting, Christians forfeit their opportunity to promote leaders who uphold godly values and principles. This absence can lead to the election of officials who may not prioritise justice, compassion and moral integrity, resulting in policies that contradict biblical values. Within democracies, the mere act of voting itself is an essential expression of Christian stewardship, aiming to foster a just and righteous society where people can rejoice under good leadership. And yet, voter apathy is a significant issue within the Christian community. Many believers feel disconnected from politics, viewing it as a worldly concern that does not merit their involvement. This perspective overlooks the profound impact that political decisions have on our daily lives and the moral direction of society. When Christians abstain from voting, they cede their influence to those who may not uphold godly values, leading to governance that does not reflect biblical principles. The implications of this apathy are severe. Decisions made by elected officials affect issues such as justice, welfare, and freedom of religion. When Christians fail to participate in the electoral process, they risk allowing policies that undermine Christian values to prevail. Proverbs 29 verse 2 serves as a stark reminder. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. In contemporary society, the decisions made by our leaders affect critical areas such as healthcare, education and social justice. For instance, healthcare policies can determine the accessibility and quality of care for millions, directly impacting the well-being of families and communities. Education policies shape the future of our children, influencing what they learn and the values imparted to them. Social justice issues, such as the treatment of marginalised communities and the upholding of human rights, are deeply rooted in the Christian ethics of love, compassion and justice. Voter apathy among Christians can be attributed to several factors, none of which are unique to Christians. One significant reason, though, is disillusionment with the political system. Many Christians are disheartened by the perceived corruption, dishonesty and moral failing of our politicians. And while these concerns are valid, disengaging from the political process is not the solution. Instead, Christians should seek to support and elect candidates who demonstrate integrity, moral character and a commitment to serving the common good. Another reason for voter apathy is the belief that their vote doesn't matter or will not make a difference. This mindset can be particularly prevalent in areas where one political party dominates, leading individuals to feel that their vote is inconsequential. However, history has shown that even a small number of votes can swing an election. But more importantly, each vote cast is a voice raised in favour of a better world and a duty to our heavenly kingdom exercised. The Bible provides clear guidance on the importance of civic engagement. As believers, we are called to be active participants in our communities and to seek the welfare of our society. This is not just a modern interpretation, but a principle rooted in Scripture. Last month, we thought of how in Matthew 22, Jesus teaches, "Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." And that statement underscores the importance of fulfilling our civic duties alongside our spiritual responsibilities. And voting is a practical way to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's by contributing to the governance of our nation. But when we look into the Old Testament, when we look to Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 7, for example, we can see that he further emphasises this point when he says, "Seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare." Here, the prophet Jeremiah encourages the Israelites in exile to engage actively in the well-being of their host city. This directive applies to us today, urging us to seek the prosperity and justice of our own communities through active participation. The welfare of our city, and indeed our nation, is directly tied to our engagement and involvement. When we work towards the good of our society, everyone benefits, including ourselves. Jeremiah issues a profound call to action, especially for Christians considering their role in civic life. The context of this verse is also critical to understanding its full impact. The Israelites were in Babylonian exile, far from their homeland and surrounded by a foreign culture. But despite their displacement, God instructed them to not withdraw or isolate themselves, but to contribute positively to the society they found themselves in. This message is remarkably relevant for us today, regardless of our circumstances. Whether we feel at home or in a challenging environment, our duty remains to seek the welfare of the community around us. This principle of seeking the welfare of the city can be extended to various forms of civic engagement, and one primary way is through voting. By participating in elections, Christians can help shape the policies and leadership that influence the moral and social direction of our communities. Voting is a means of expressing our values and advocating for justice, compassion and integrity in government. It allows us to have a voice in decisions that affect public education, healthcare, social services, and many other aspects of communal life that have significant moral implications. But seeking the welfare of the city goes beyond just voting. It involves active participation in community service, supporting local businesses, engaging in dialogue about social issues, and advocating for the marginalised and oppressed. It means being informed about local and national issues and working collaboratively with others to find solutions. In essence, it's about being a proactive and positive force in society, reflecting the love and justice of God in practical ways. Moreover, James chapter 2 in verses 14 to 17 challenges us to demonstrate our faith through action. "What good is it, my brothers," he says, "if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." Voting is a tangible way to express our faith and work towards a society that reflects God's justice and mercy. Our faith should naturally lead us to actions that promote the common good and address the needs and injustices we see around us. Proverbs 29 verse 2 again continues to resonate, and our involvement in elections can help ensure that righteous and just leaders are in positions of power, leading to the well-being of our nation. There is a direct correlation, remember, between the quality of leadership and the condition of society. Righteous leaders who govern with integrity and justice create an environment where people can flourish. And conversely, corrupt or wicked leaders bring suffering and distress to the people. Historically, Christians who have taken Jeremiah's call seriously have made significant contributions to society. The abolition of slavery, the civil rights movement, and numerous social reforms were driven by believers who sought the welfare of their society. These Christians understood that their faith compelled them to act against injustice and to advocate for those who are oppressed. They did not see their civic engagement as separate from their spiritual lives, but as an integral part of living out their faith. In more recent times, Christian voters have played pivotal roles in shaping policies on issues such as poverty, healthcare, and education. By voting according to their values, they've helped elect leaders who prioritise the welfare of the most vulnerable in society. As we approach the upcoming election, it's vital for Christians to recognise the power of their vote. Each vote cast by a believer is a step towards ensuring that the nation's leadership reflects godly principles and works towards justice, mercy, and the common good. Voting is not just a civic duty, but a spiritual one, an opportunity to influence the direction of our society in a way that honours God. In the UK, the general election on Thursday presents a crucial opportunity for Christians to make their voices heard. By participating in the electoral process, we can help elect leaders who will govern with righteousness and integrity. Proverbs 29 verse 2 serves as both a warning and a promise. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. So let's heed this biblical wisdom and commit to active participation in the upcoming election. Our votes can contribute to a society where justice prevails and the well-being of all is sought. In doing so, we fulfill God's command through Jeremiah to seek the welfare of our city and nation, ensuring that righteous leaders are in place to guide us. We're to seek the welfare of our city, our society, our community, our nation, knowing that in its welfare we will find our own. By voting, we actively contribute to the flourishing of our community. As Christians, we must not succumb to apathy, but instead embrace our responsibility to vote. By doing so, we help create a society where the righteous thrive, leading to rejoicing among the people. Our engagement in the electoral process is a powerful testament to our faith and our commitment to seeking God's kingdom values reflected in our world.
Woke up this morning, saw a world full of trouble now. I thought, how do we ever get so far down? And how's it ever gonna turn around? So I turned my eyes to heaven. I thought, God, why don't you do something? Well, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted me, so I shook my fist at heaven. I said, God, why don't you do something? He said, I did. Yeah. I created you. If not us, then who? If not me and you. Right now. Well, it's time for us to do something. Something. I'm so tired of talking about how we are God's hands and feet. It's easier to say than to be. Live like angels of apathy. We'll tell ourselves it's alright, somebody else will do something. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of life with no desire. I don't wanna flame, I wanna fire. I wanna be the one who stands up and says, I'm gonna do something. If not us, then who? If not me and you, right now, it's time for us to do something. Yes, it is. Come on. If not now, then when will we see an end to all this pain? Oh, well, it's not enough to do nothing. It's time for us to do something. We are the salt of the earth. We are a city on a hill. We're never gonna change the world by standing still. No, we won't stand still. No. If not us, then who? If not me and you, right now, it's time for us to do something. If not now, then when will we see an end to all this pain? Well, it's not enough to do nothing. It's time for us to do something. It's time for us to do something.
Hello, this has been Selah, Time to Pause, a podcast from Plexus Salvation Army, an online church in the UK.
I'm Ian.
I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Sam.
If you've enjoyed journeying with us over these last few weeks, join us every Monday
Or any day that works for you.
to spend time together, taking time out to pause, catch our breath, draw near to God, and refresh our spirits.
We share Bible teachings,
Reflections on songs we're listening to,
And on what's going on in the world around us.
as well as this. On the last day of the month, we look back and reflect, share any thoughts from our listener community, and ask what we can take from it into our daily living.
what we call our personal So What's for the month.
Join us, making us part of your regular routine, spending a few minutes to listen to what God might be saying to you.
Find us on your favourite podcast streaming service
On Facebook,
Or YouTube.
by searching for Selah,
that's SELAH.
Time to Pause.